is. I was telling Hannah, I'm like, I swear, I think if I would like collapse, like Chris will pick me up and carry me through.
Let's go, motherfucker. We gotta go.
We gotta go. I don't care if you're dying. We gotta move forward. It'd be like weekend at Bernie's, weekend at Ernie's. You'd be like holding my arm, doing consultations. Yeah, look at him.
This looks good. This could be the worst marketing idea ever. That logo looks good. Looks fantastic, right, man? Yeah.
Yeah, you grab my hand. You like.
Looks fantastic. We got to go. Another meeting. All right.
You just told me in the trunk of your car.
Welcome to another episode of Don Draper's Den. On this podcast, we discuss branding and marketing and how it touches so many aspects of our lives. We also talk a bunch of trash about music and food and culture, nostalgia, and even each other. We do hope you're entertained. We hope you gain some insight from these two marketing professionals. I'm Chris. This is Ernie. In this episode, we got into all kinds of stuff.
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, New Year's resolutions, self-help, stoicism,
motivation.
But yeah, the coming year, having a plan, being in a rowboat with too many people,
having a marketing plan for your business. Bullets
coming down at the beach. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. So
weekend at Ernie's.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it was a good one. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Spread the word. We want to blow this thing up and we do appreciate your support. So without further ado, pour yourself a glass and let's get into this.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, bro. First of all, I got some post-nasal drip. I'm sorry. I'll be coughing. We're just a mess. A couple episodes ago, you're coughing up a storm. It's just, it's chaos. It's
going through the office for sure.
So, beards. We're going to jump in with beards. Because I've had, we'll get there, I guess. I have things on my mind I want to get into. But is it every day? Because you keep it pretty neat.
Yeah.
I was not shaving, and then over the break time, I caved. I couldn't do it anymore. It was just looking like Grizzly Adams. Yeah. So, is it the barber? Do you go in yourself? Do you have like a whole thing, a routine? Tell me your story.
So I have always done it myself.
Okay.
Because I've had horrible experiences at the salons or the barbers. They just don't know. Sometimes they'll trim it way too thin and lean, close to my skin. Right. One time I went to this one salon, and it was for men, like salon for men. I think that was actually what it was called. And I bought the beard, trimming package as well. Yeah. And the lady said, "Do you mind if I hand you the tools, would you trim your own beard?"
Shut up. That's so stupid.
Yeah, they did. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do mine.
Sure. So I'm like, okay. And she goes, well, I trimmed somebody else's beard. He got so upset that he gave me a bad review, and now I'm like, I have trauma, trimming beards. So I'm like, so I felt kind of bad. So I'm like, sure. So I did it myself. Right. And then they charged me for it.
That's so stupid.
I'm like, bro. What? Are you serious? So ever since that and a few other incidents, I'm like, I'm doing it myself. Now I will say that Hannah recently bought some like a kit beard, like beard trimming type stuff.
Proper
and
edging,
she's been doing it for me.
Okay.
Which is good because during COVID I had her try because. Everybody's locked in,
Right.
And, being a dog groomer, you think.
Figure she's got the leg up.
Yeah, you know how to do this stuff.
Dog hair,
dude.
Hair.
She butchered it so bad. I was like, that was like maybe one of the few times that she probably saw me like teary eyed. I was like, what did you do?
What have you done to me?
I
woman?
Thought, like you groom dogs. What's the difference? But
you're a little better than a dog, homie.
Yeah. Right. But since then, I mean, she grooms Jaeger's beard. Yeah, and he's like my little mini me.
The eyebrows, and the whole bullshit.
Everything. He's just like me, and yet she completely butchered it. But since then, she's stepped up her game, and
Okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Kinda
I gave her another shot. I'm like, okay, I'll give you another shot. Just don't go, too close to the skin. Just I want to have some shape. And she's been doing a good job. So it's kind of off and on. If I just need to get it done, that'll be like my morning routine. I'll just trim everything up. If
since when
I'm ready for an adventure, I'll let her do it.
The beard. Since when? Because I noticed at about 37ish, I was like, I think I grow a beard.
Oh,
I'm
so
a man now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So mine was probably around 2017. So it was pretty recent.
Right?
So if you ever look at old photos of me on online,
yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, like a little kid.
Hey guys, what's going on? You're like a grown ass.
You know how it happened though. So I was going through my divorce. I was kind of really down and depressed, and so I just was sitting in my house, a brand new house at the time, and I started watching Vikings. You know where this is going. So I started watching Vikings, and I'm binging on Vikings, which by the way is like an awesome show, dude.
Right.
Totally worth it.
Right.
Lagertha, completely hot. You gotta watch it, dude.
Sure.
Anyways, so I'm sitting there like just kind of down, depressed, watching Vikings, and then all of a sudden it kind of occurred to me, I'm like, man, I wonder if I could grow this. And I went to the mirror in my bathroom, and I'm like looking. I'm like, well, I have a hard time kind of growing right here. Yeah. But if I grow it down a little bit, like let it grow out, I think I could grow a full beard. And I did. So I didn't cut it for the longest time. I had it grown down to like here at one point. Yeah. And then I realized I couldn't do that because then when I wore like bow ties or ties, like you couldn't see it. So what's the point of wearing a tie or bow tie?
What's the point of wearing a bow tie? Are you going at like tuxedo bow tie? Is that what you mean?
Before bow ties started coming back, dude, I was rocking bow ties, man. Yeah, completely. The way I dress now is nowhere compared. Is this some kind of
Asian thing I don't know about? Is there a bow tie thing in the culture I don't know about?
Yeah, no. It's funny because I remember watching I don't know what I was watching, but it was a show or it was something on YouTube, and it was an attorney saying that whenever he has like hard conversations, he'd wear a bow tie because whoever wants to punch a guy wearing a bow tie.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I get you.
So I'm like, that's kind of true. Like people don't, always think like, oh, okay, this guy must be a nice guy, happy guy wearing a bow tie. So I started wearing bow ties. And this was during a time when it was hard to find bow ties. Right. And then over the course of like the next couple of years, all of a sudden you start seeing.
Kind of popped off a little bit. That's a weird thing, man, isn't it? Like, it's like black folks had their moment, black dudes had their moment with the bow tie. I'm thinking like P. Diddy, his right-hand man, whatever his name was, with the umbrella. God, what a mess. I don't even want to go there. But the point is, there was a moment.
Yeah,
right?
there was a moment.
And then like the 80s, right? It was like a white guy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
But it
started being pretty cool like for a couple years. Now, I don't really see many people doing it. And so I used to always wear suits, ties to work every day. Yeah. And then when everything kind of happened, then I just grew up my beard, and it was kind of hard to get back into wearing the whole suit and tie thing. And then when around, I don't know at what point, we were having staff photo shoot day, and we were kind of figuring out, okay, what should everybody wear? Right. And I'm like, well, I'll wear my suits. And one of our staff members at the time, Jordan, I remember her saying, well, suits are kind of like outdated these days. It's almost like you're wearing like a costume. Why don't you just wear like... And so they kind of put together all the different patterns that everybody should wear. And mine was just like a sports coat and jeans. Right. And I kind of just been stuck in that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I haven't really gone back. I don't think I'll ever really go back to a whole suit and tie thing. I think it'll just be like sports coats, jeans, and button-down shirt.
Let's see. When I moved out here, I bought 3 new suits and moved out to Ohio. So that's like 17, I think. 16, 17. And I got new ties. I got nice ties. And I was like, cool, I'm a financial advisor. Then it slowly but surely worked on me where I was like, oh, people around here think you're going to a funeral.
Right.
or what else, I don't know. Right. Yeah. But they damn sure don't trust you. And so, it was the rarest of occasions where I actually put a suit on.
Yeah. Like, well, one of our clients told me, I remember, like, after the first few meetings, they said, hey, can you not wear a suit?
Yeah.
because it looks like, I don't want people thinking that like some attorneys are coming in like there's some issue. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. So so that was kind of a wake up call for me. But you know what? Maybe what we should do is go the other direction, like complete, like deck out Peaky Blinders, do the whole
nice 3-piece.
Yeah, 3-piece.
Ooh, give me a 3-piece, dude.
I don't mind hat. It'll have like the little chain watch thing here, dude. Just do that whole thing.
Yeah, I am so down for it. I can't be so ridiculous as to get like a zoot suit, like we're in Harlem in 1927 or something. But yeah, I love a nice suit. Oh yeah, with the right shoes and the whole bit.
Right.
Come on, bro.
It'd be so out of place. Everybody like, what's going on here?
What is this? Yeah, I like the. I've been. So the reason I ask is because I'm like on the fence. I'm like, well, I like the beard. My kids. Every time I shave, my kids are like, "Oh, you're weird," And I'm like, "Oh, this is my face. You think I look weird? Yeah. Cool, thanks." But I like it. But I got the strong stash. I got a good Manchu going, right? I got the strong goatee, but this is a little Keanu Reeves, man.
It's not bad. I've seen worse.
That's
not bad though.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
But but then it gets down here. It gets a bit of a hang, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work, man, because it's just like this. It goes out.
Yeah. So long as you keep it like where it's at right now, I think it looks good.
I think I'm gonna make
once it starts getting all scraggly and stuff, then it's like you gotta trim that. I'm not used to seeing you without a beard. I've seen you that one time. I was like, that's different. I don't even dare shave mine because
no, exactly.
The only time I'd ever contemplate that,
if we rock it shaved, we're gonna get carded. Right? As long as I have my hat on, they can't see the receding hairline. Like, no, we're gonna get carded. They're like, you boys need to go back home. Right.
The only time I'll pull that trick out is if I feel like I'm looking old when I get up there in age. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shave it and I'll trim off like 10 years.
Dude, when does that happen? Because I want to be there. Here's what's going to happen. Is it the beard goes, right? The beard goes, keep it real tight, right? Because you're keeping it jet black up top, right? So we keep that maybe tighten up the tight skin fade, right? Get rid of all the gray on the side. Then super tan.
Super tan?
Dude, super tan. You just wait. I'm usually pale because I just don't like, I got other shit to do than sit in the sun.
Yeah.
But if ever it should hit me, I'll darken right up, man.
Yeah.
Totally. So, super tan, get all jacked, super jacked, like just for no reason, have like one button. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like the late 50s right there. And that's how I'm going out.
Yeah. I couldn't do those super tan. Are you going to be look that tan where like you look like you've been overcooked and your skin's all leathery and stuff?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. The older I get, right, like, that's going to be on the menu.
Like I can feel the heat right off of you because you're still cooking even when you're indoors.
That's it. I couldn't do that. I'm losing my hair, so I'm going to have to shave my head.
Yeah.
Which means I got to get that much more jacked, right?
Yeah.
You're getting older. Got to get jacked.
Have you ever looked in those hair treatments?
Like
like
Bill Burr does the best bit where he's like, you don't want to be the first guy in line for that, where they're, 20 years ago. What's a basketball guy he references? Van Gundy, I think.
Yeah, Van Gundy.
For the hair plugs. Yeah. And he's like, they're stapling ant legs on your forehead. So no, it's just God's will, man.
Yeah, you're going to just embrace it.
It is what it is.
You embrace it. Yeah.
What am I going to do? I'm going to fight it? It's fine. It's fine. But I am going to have a reaction to it. And it's going to be, you lose the hair. That's immediately like 5 to 10 pounds more muscle you need just walking around.
Are you going to just like shave it all off, go bald? I think you could pull it off.
I have to. Yeah. I've shaved my head in the past when I first had my, I think it was with all the kids. When even the twins, because they're like 11 months apart. All 3 kids, I had shaved my head just because I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Just all the energy I had with colicky babies. And I was just like, to hell with that. I'll shave my
head. I could see that. Yeah. I think you could rock it. I don't think I could. That would be bad.
Do you have a wrinkly head?
I don't know. But I need my full head of hair, dude. Like but I think partly the reason why I wear hats so much is that so that everybody gets used to seeing me with hats. Yeah. So when I start losing hair, it's like, I'm just wearing a hat. That's what. Have you ever seen my hair? I never show my hair.
I don't have any hair anyway.
Yeah. It's hard because I'm watching over the weekend, I got to spend some time with my family and my brothers. So I'm kind of watching them because they're, my oldest brother is 9 years ahead of me.
Right.
My second one is 7. My third is older brother is 5 years ahead of me.
Okay.
So I could kind of watch to see like how they're losing hair. So I'm
but
like,
it's kind of a crapshoot, right? Because you'd have to look at mom's brothers, at mom's dad, and all that racket, right?
Right.
That's where it's coming from. So,
right.
however they're
My mom,
shaking out.
my mom's brother, one of my favorite uncles, he had like a nice full head of hair for a long while. So I'm hoping that gene got passed on to me.
There you go.
But yeah, my older brothers, their hair is starting to thin out.
Yeah.
And like one's, like I said, 7 years. So he's 54 now.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, 54 years old.
But
and I'm
that's
like,
a good, it's fine. That's fine. Right?
So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? Do I need to do anything?
Just let it ride, man.
Yeah.
Just let it ride. Or embrace it. One of my favorites.
Or maybe I should just start wearing one of those toupees like now. Have you seen that on Reels where like they shave it and then like they put this like plastic around your head and they like kind of dot it,
lace front.
Yeah. And then they use that plastic to kind of build that toupee and then they glue it on your head.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's LeBron James has a lace front.
Yeah.
Right? They weave it in.
Yeah.
Bro, that's black folks' problems, man. I feel so bad. Right? Because you want to help, right? But like, there's no hiding it. Right?
No,
it's just
no.
it's shorter hair. It just is what it is. So once folks have that kind of hair, man, it's just, hey, you got to give it up.
Yeah.
Right? Just got to give it up.
Yeah.
Like if you got a lot of money, like LeBron James.
Yeah.
And then his teammates have to kind of like, hey man,
right.
Oh shit, I'm
right.
tying this up real quick.
Like you look at these stars. I mean, how old are they? And they still have full heads of hair. Like, how is that possible, dude?
Are you gonna tell me
they got
all
that
the
money.
Rolling Stones kept their hair,
Right,
bro?
Right.
Really?
Right. Really? No.
For real?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, it's fine. I love it. I was.
You look
just
at Rod
watching
Stewart; he still has the same haircut.
the same exact haircut.
That's not
Like,
possible.
It's ferocious hair.
Right.
He's like 79 years old or something, man.
Right? No
Oh,
way.
Rod the Mod, let it go. It's fine.
Well, he has the money though. If you have the money,
He
dude,
has the money.
You
He has
just
so
go
much
spend
money
the money,
that
put
people
the
are like,
plugs
"Hey, looks
in."
good, bud." Jesus Christ! Holy shit! Or Elton John, right? One of the greats. We all love some Elton John. Very funny about how he deals with his hair, right? Because he admits he's like, he was going bald in 1971, and he was famous then. It's not like I can't go back to the tape, right? He was
Right.
thin.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
So yeah, he tells stories all the time. He's like, such and such came to the door, and I'd forgotten my hair, so I had to walk back upstairs to get my hair, my favorite hair for that day or whatever. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah.
Wait, just embrace it. Embrace it. But yeah.
Dolly Parton's always worn wigs.
Really?
Yeah.
She was hot back in the day.
Yeah. She even till this day.
Yeah.
She's always worn wigs. I watched this little documentary on her because she was going to get her, be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And some of the, people were talking about how even there's never a time where you never saw her without makeup or her wigs on or anything. She was always like a consummate professional.
Yeah.
Always lived her brand. So from the moment she woke up to the moment she went to bed, you never saw her like completely like dressed down, no makeup, no wig on.
Yeah.
She knew her brand and she stuck to it.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I just saw Brandon, we get into music sometimes. I just saw Marilyn Manson speaking of branding and putting on the show and all that. Like he seemed to have gotten into his Jim Morrison phase where it's all falling apart,
Yeah.
And nobody's mad at him. He's been a wealthy guy for a long time, and if you get a little chubby, you get your extra pork chops on. You're getting your like late Elvis era rock and roll. It is what it is, right? But he's apparently clean and sober. I guess off the booze or whatever it was that was chubbing him up, and he's looking pretty svelte.
Is he?
As of like literally, I just watched the video. right? So end of year 2024, like he seems like he's back in. In
How does he look compared to his stint on Sons of Anarchy? Because he was looking pretty chubby on that.
What there, I would say he did look chubby, right? But he looked normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree.
As compared to his kind of gaunt, heroin chic,
right?
1997, 96 kind of era.
Yeah.
Right? Or was he just young? No,
he looked like just a normal dude.
Yeah, just a regular guy. A regular racist SS guy in jail. But anyway.
Right.
But no, he looks like he did back in the day, man.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his tunes are pretty good. I just saw it this morning. I was like, okay, we'll make a little reinvention.
Yeah.
I'll find that kind of inner, it's not over yet, kind of thing. I dig that. That reinvention is hard, man. It's so, I mean, 'tis the season as we go into the new year. That the new year, new self and things like that. And like we all subscribe to it. It's easy to find that motivation, I think, for the reinvention.
Yeah.
Just because it coincides with the new year. But first of all, there's always the naysayers, right? People like, I've been that at times where I'm like, New Year's, who cares? I'm just going to keep on keeping on, right? Sometimes fair enough. But, and then there's those that like they get super hyped.
Yeah.
And, oh man, this is it. This is the one. This is the year. Da, 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 da. And they basically talk a bunch of shit, and then it burns out by the end of January. And they're just done.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's like the rare birds that, no, this is what I said I was going to do. This is a new me. And they go off and they do their thing. There's
I can't do that. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I always have to have a goal to reach.
I'm with that.
Yeah. So that's why, my New Year's, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to start like running only because I put a goal out before me that I want to run the 5K the Heart Mini 5K run in March.
Okay.
So because I put that, now New Year, I got to work towards that, right? So I got to start walking, I got to start slogging, then running, and all that whole thing. But I need a goal, or else my New Year's resolution will be done after week 1.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I go both ways. I go kind of, on the one hand, I'm like, I've learned my lesson in that when you put an ambitious goal out there, that's like exceedingly ambitious, it's not going to get hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to get jacked and do this and do that. And another thing too. And you know what? You find out quickly that you can't just live on salad, or you can't just, do whatever activity only once a year. You know what I mean? It's nobody lives like that, man. You're not going to live like a monk.
No. Right.
And I don't know if that's even living either. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Like, life's meant to be lived.
Yep.
If I want to have a cigar sometimes, goddamn it, I have a cigar.
Yeah.
As I say, I pay my taxes. Right? I'm a good dad, trying. So,
that's why I think, like, for me, part of the reason why I can't keep up with a resolution is because just my personality type. I'm interested in so many things. Yeah. And so I could only, so I'll be interested in one thing, this resolution, but then all of a sudden, hey, look, there's something shiny over there.
Yeah.
I'll start pursuing that.
Right.
That's not everything, because I'm loyal to like whatever I focus in on.
Yeah.
But I'm not like one of those guys who I'll focus on one thing and then I'll be done after like a month and I'll focus on another thing. I focus on one thing and I go full steam on that, but then I'll focus on another thing and go full steam on that. So at some point you get tapped. Like you can only do everything full steam, right? And the thing that tends to fall off is my own personal like health. Like I'll invest more time with other people, other things, but for me it's like I don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's
which I know is not necessarily good, right? Because you don't make time for yourself, you'll eventually
have no time.
Yeah, crash and burn. Right.
You'll die.
Literally have no time.
Yeah. I'm very much in like what my kids observe things, right? Particularly like my hair, right? and so I was sitting down on the floor the other day watching a movie. They were sitting on the couch, and I think maybe Cecilia or Melody, one of them, was like brushing my hair, Right? And this is just what kids do, at least my kids. And so I wasn't paying much attention. And afterward, at some point, they made note, like, oh man, you're losing your hair. And I'm like, right?
Yeah.
The sun is hot. I'm losing my hair. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I hope I end up totally bald. And in the moment, right, I said it because I knew they would take it too literally and be confused by it. Because they're like, well, why, Dad? Why would you want to be bald? Why would you want to look like that? Right. And it's like, I'm not that vain. I don't care. But the point is, I have gotten so old that I ended up totally bald. I win.
Yeah.
I'm so old, it all fell out. Right?
Yeah.
I'm still
so
going.
it's an indicator of that you made it.
That I made it. And because the analogy for me has been since I was a young man, like 19 or something, to where, you know what it is? There was two people, unfortunately, that died very shortly out of high school that I graduated high school with. Yeah. There was other friends of mine that died while I was in high school, right? Car accidents and such, and nothing weird. But so it was very, very, very much in my mind from about 15-ish to about 19, 20, because there was like 7, 8 people that died.
Wow. Okay.
And mostly car accidents. And so with that, I remember, for whatever reason, the analogy or the visual was the storming the beach of Normandy and the U-boat. I always think of Saving Private Ryan. And the boat, the thing drops down, and they're just freaking the Nazis are shooting, and they're just cutting into them. They didn't even go off the goddamn boat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Never mind running up the beach and the hail of bullets and your buddy's body parts laying next to you. And Killer Mike has a great song, right? Run, right? Super inspirational, but it's very much that feeling of like, I'm going. And for no good reason, right? Just God, the universe, Lucky Charms, Santa Claus, whatever it is. Yeah. I keep going forward, and left and right, people are just dropping like flies. Worse yet, not only do they drop like flies, because that sucks, something takes them out at the knees, but they do it to themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or they just, like, that scene with that chick who gets married, she shits her pants right in the middle of the street. I can't remember her name. Maria Rudolph, whatever it is. It's like they just kind of give up. You know what I mean? They just sit where they are. This is good enough. Yeah. This will do. Whatever. And I just feel like, man, those people are all around me. And if I don't make a plan, if I don't say, I'm going over that hill right there. Why? Well, what's the point? This hill isn't good enough. I don't know, but I gotta go there.
You gotta get there. Yeah.
Because goddamn, the shores, death awaits. It's coming for me. Yeah. And I don't want to look
Interesting.
back,
Yeah. And so you've always had that in your head. So now going bald because your age, like, okay, I've accomplished. I've at least lasted this long.
And like it's so that same idea that I've referenced before, simulation, the simulacra, right? Baudrillard, the French philosopher. It's like I am the manifesto, right? My body is the manifesto, right? My body is the letter from God's hand, you could say, right? And as this body decays and it continues to go forward, and I, run headlong into my goals, I'm scarred about my face. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm crusted from the sun. My hair is falling out. My teeth like as my body fails, right? I know that I'm going forward. Yeah. Right. And when I leave this earth, I want like just this mangled wreckage. Right, you know what I mean? Like, God damn, the dude wore the wheels off this thing. You remember that pickup video? It's like a cop chase. Yeah. And it's like it's a Chevy or something. And the wheels are gone. Yeah. Right? The rims are gone. Dude, it's on like the axles. And it's still going down the road. Yeah. And that's me, man. I want to just be crashing into the rocks of life, of oblivion.
That's why I'm glad that you're around, because I was telling Hannah, I'm like, I swear, I think if I would like collapse, like Chris will pick me up and carry me through.
Let's go, motherfucker. We gotta go.
We gotta go. I don't care if you're dying. We gotta move forward. It'd be like weekend at Bernie's, weekend at Ernie's. You'd be like holding my arm, doing consultations. Yeah, look at him.
This looks good. This could be the worst marketing idea ever. That logo looks good. Looks fantastic, right, man? Yeah.
Yeah, you grab my hand. You're like,
looks fantastic. We got to go. Another meeting. All right.
You just told me in the trunk of your car. All right, Ernie, come on. We got another meeting. Look alive. He's like, man, he doesn't say anything over there. Oh, he's thinking. Maybe he gets paid to think.
Very contemplative.
You just carried me over the finish line, which is great, man.
Yeah. But at the helm of that insanity is the plan.
Yeah, there's a plan. You gotta have a plan. You gotta have a vision. You have a plan. It's hard to follow anybody or go anywhere without knowing where are we going to? What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing.
And why are we going?
And why are we going there?
Yeah.
Right. It's very difficult.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I remember I served under this pastor once, and and I remember for whatever reason, I guess we were out at some golf outing, like golf tournament, fundraiser, and he was in my golf cart, and I served under him, at the church, and he was telling me, out of frustration, he was like. He's like, Ernie, I don't know why more people don't go to our church, and what do we got to do to get to our church? And I was just in my, I'm thinking again, I'm not the leader, he is, and I remember telling him, hey, well, what's your vision? Because all I hear you do is you get complaining that like nobody's coming to church, but like.
So you state the problem,
right? Yeah. You state the problem, but what's your vision? Why should people come to the church? Yeah. And he got so flustered at me. He's like, well, you know why, Ernie, and I'm like. No, I don't know why. Why? Why should people go to our church versus people go to another church?
Right.
I mean, I'm just following you, but like, why should people? Well, because, to hear the truth, to hear God's word. I'm like, okay, but they could go to any other church to hear that. Why here? He's like, he just got flustered. I don't know. You figure it out and you tell me. I'm like, okay, see, therein lies a problem.
Sounds like you need to pray, bro.
Right. And I remember confronting him, like, that's the problem. Yeah. Because like you're the leader, we're following you, and you don't even know where we're going or why we're different or more or unique or what makes us like. You have no clue. You're just gonna get frustrated and start, being grumpy about this. Right. Like you need a vision, man. You need a goal. People aren't just gonna follow just because you get angry and say, invite people to come to church. Yeah. We need more membership. Like, what? What's that gonna do?
Yeah, membership doesn't.
Right. Like, you don't give us anything to latch on to. Yeah, that church, that didn't last too long. But I remember at that point in my career as a marketing pastor, I was like, I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be honest with when any questions are asked of me, I'm not going to like back down. And when he came to me with that question, I'm like, well, you have no vision.
Yeah.
Because when I ask you why, and you say because to come to know the Lord and become a Christian and know the truth, okay, well, there's like 20 other churches in our block here, 5 square mile,
right? Selling the same,
5 mile radius.
Same hot dogs.
They're selling the same thing,
right?
Like, why this church, right? No answer. But yeah, I agree. Like, you need to have that vision. You need to have, or else you can't. Like you said, you can only eat salad for so long. Yeah. If you don't have a goal, if there's not a reason for it, you'll eventually say, right. You know what am I doing this for?
That's right. Yeah, right? It's that the finding the why, and I don't know if anything could be in the days right now, the amount of access. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, I live on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Right. I might be following one of you, and it's so trite. It's so passé. It's so non-plot. It's just all those words to like Jesus Christ. Another self-help, memed, little quote. Right. Mm-hmm. And all this, and like. It's so just, we're all over it at this point, but there's a lot of value in getting that why.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the why is invaluable, right? Just because it's kind of, trite to say. Mm-hmm. It's still really important.
Yeah.
And I'll eat salad all year if I don't know, give me a reason.
If you understand what your why is and this is contributing or helping you get there.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And the why is the why is manifest of a great plan and a great strategy. And it's maybe it's like rocket fuel, because those are the moments where, like, you know, there's I heard this great idea. It was Jim Rome, I think it was. Somebody, Jim Rome. He said that when you talk about the idea to too many people, the cold winds of doubt cool it before it has a chance to kind of burn in you, right? And so it's the idea that burns in our minds, right? As if we're in the midst of our business plan. We're done now, but our business plan is something that you and I and some choice folks at work have kind of burning in our head, right? Tell too many people about it, right? And the satisfaction of talking it will cool down.
Really? That's interesting.
The temperature, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm a hype man.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But only in the past so many years have I realized, like, talk about it, right? But you better be about it first. Right. And the
that's interesting because, like, actually, I'm glad that you share that, because I've always been a guy who I would always talk about my ideas and vision and stuff like that to people, even if it's personal goals. Probably because it's like accountability. The more I share it, the more I get it out there. I'm on the hook to do it.
Yeah.
But now I think about it, you're right, because there's times where I didn't necessarily follow through with certain things, even my own personal goals, even though I told everybody about it. But I think you're right. There is a lot of truth to that. The cold winds of doubt.
The cold winds, and it's the nature of it. And I will not call out names in my personal life, but let's just say I've had a good idea or two. Perhaps I've had at least, let's say, an idea worth following.
Yeah.
And I've let others talk me out of it, which I don't know if anything pisses me off more about myself.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Other people.
That it's like, because it's like, you know, when somebody like does you wrong in high school or whatever, and you still think about it, and you're like, you know, mid 40s, and you're like, that son of a bitch. And it just, it sticks in you. That sucks. But those are the mishandlings of fortune in the hands of a young man, of a boy, right? Flash ahead to the past 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago now, right? 15 years ago, right? If I'm being honest. And then I think, like, that ain't no boy.
Right.
That was a grown ass man that let the winds of doubt, you know, cool my sails.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on that Normandy Beach analogy, right? It's like, no, man, I need to be, you know, the body's got to be hot, right? Because there's bullets flying, man. It's on, right? Every minute is, I hope, a step closer to the goal, but it may as well be, I don't know, it could be a truck that just bam takes me out.
Yeah.
You know, and then if I'm bleeding to death there on a side of the road, hit by a semi truck, I hope it's quick. Make it a big truck, and I'm just a mess. My last thoughts, I had better not be like, I went out cold.
Yeah.
You know, I went out not pursuing the big swing. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want to go out hot.
Yeah, I could see that for sure, especially within you. You're kind of driven with that intent. Me, I think, I don't know. For me, I think my motivation is a little different. Like, I want to make sure that when I go, whenever that time would be, that I could look back and say, like, I was, like, people would miss me, not for selfish reasons, but because, like, I actually, like, made a difference in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not so much like, I did, like, it was more like, did I impact people? Like, would my legacy, I don't know how much I like that word, but like, did I cause a ripple?
Yeah.
Strong enough that like people could say, oh man, like really? Like, I remember this one thing he said to me that really impacted me, or that he was like this. Like, to me, that's what I live for.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I want to explore, I want to learn and adventure and live life to the fullest as much as I can. But I want to do it in a way where I'm impacting everybody along the way. It's like, wow, that guy was like, he was a real dude, like a real nice guy. He impacted me, said kind things. He empowered me. He encouraged me. He whatever. Like that's my big motivation.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You know,
I feel very much the same way, actually.
Yeah.
To have left this world better than when I found it.
When I found it, right?
Yeah.
So like as far as time, I don't know if it's longevity as much as it is about like how did I impact somebody today. And I treat them well. And that's partly why, like, people laugh who are around me on a day-to-day basis. But, like, I know my people at the bank. I know people at the, at the restaurants. I know people like everywhere I go, because it's more because I want to be a blessing to them. I want them to see, like, hey, I know you're serving. I know it's a humdrum type of work you're doing, but I actually notice you and I care,
Yeah.
So I make it a point to do that. Right. So much so that like my family don't even like going to the bank with me, because I could be there for like a half hour talking to every like I know every teller, I know everybody, they all like they're like, oh, Ernie's here, and we'll just talk about whatever. Crazy. So much so that the other patrons are like, who is this guy? Go. Stop talking.
That's definitely me. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not working, but I try to keep them quick too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up? All right, we're good. All right, I'm out.
Right. I just want to make a difference in that sense, not necessarily like, I don't know, like an Elon Musk or some of these guys who have all this money and they could persuasion is completely different. For me, it's like, it's not relevant to how much money I have. No. Like I'll always try to be a blessing to people, but but the problem with that is I sacrifice myself a lot.
That's been a theme. Yeah, we've run into that.
I tend to sacrifice myself a lot. Yeah. What can I do for you? Like, I don't care if that means lack of sleep. I'll drive out wherever it takes to help you. If you're on the side of the road, doesn't matter, But like, maybe that's a little too extreme. But like, I will put myself out there so much so that, oh shoot, now I got this I got to do, and I only have like an hour to do that. I got this, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out,
Yeah, yeah. So there's a bit of that taken on the.
And that's why my New Year's resolutions tend to be, as it relates to me personally, physically, like health or spiritually or what have you, tend to fall sometimes because I get distracted. And it's not distracted by like, oh, there's a nice shiny new car I want to get. It's more distracted by like, oh, there's a need that needs to be met there. There's a need that needs to be met here. Yeah. And I'll put myself last, which is good and bad, because again, the bad is that, you're not going to be able to do that for very long eventually,
No. So you're going to run, you're going to wear your the tread on your tires prematurely. But if another analogy, another visual is like when you're in that airplane, right, in that seat, right, as a man, I tend to think I got to like, for some fucking dumb reason, I got to stay in the burning building. I got to go down with the ship. I got to wrestle the bear. You know what I mean? I got all the shit jobs. I don't know what it is. And my bottom is I'm taking care of others, right? I'm here to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, if I don't get that oxygen mask on myself first, I'm going to pass out.
Right.
I can't put it on my kid. Right? So that it's like that 80-20 rule is manifest in how I try to live, right? Yeah. I'm not always perfect, all right? Sometimes I get that Cap'n Crunch, that peanut butter Cap'n Crunch, right? And I just dick off a bit. But for the most part, 20% should be non-negotiable. Yeah. That's where I see you kind of like reaching for the 20% is all.
Right.
As opposed to biting into the 80% of selflessness where like, I got to make the world better. I got to make sure everybody's okay. It's like, yeah, I see how you're kind of like, well, let's make sure you're getting your 20%, and I will admit that I have the opposite, right? I'm too self-interested.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm constantly like, no, fighting the urge, right, to take care of myself, which is
it's opposite for me. Yeah. It reminded me, have you ever seen that the video of Bill Burr, and he talks about why why like there's that wage gap between men and women. Have you seen that? That's
Yeah,
what it reminded me of when you were saying that.
100%.
Because for some fucking reason,
That's right.
when the ship goes down,
Same premise.
the women
100%.
and children get to go off first, and we got to stay on the boat.
Right.
Or we got to stay in a burning building or fight the bear.
Yep.
So you know what? That little amount.
That's why I got a bigger piece of chicken. That's all I'm asking for.
I love it. That's Bill Burr makes me laugh so much.
brilliant.
He's so good.
He's so good. He's one of the greats.
Yeah.
He's so. You know what's funny? There's comedians that I listen to now that it's no longer funny. Like I got every one of Richard Pryor's albums. Thanks to my homie Mike Nordsey. Shout out. He just downloaded all of them into my iTunes, and so anyways, I listened to him ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't even laugh anymore. But it's so wise. It's so wise. And like historically, you know, I look back and I'm like, damn, that's like 40 and 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and the shit he's saying.
Yeah.
Whoo,
Oh yeah.
Lord.
He would have been canceled a long time ago.
Dude, like not only would it be as un-PC, right? Like, damn, you know, but then again, it's like, well, yeah, he would be like older than my dad. That's how people talked.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's
right?
what it is, yeah.
So never mind that. It's like the sins of granddad. You can't be mad. But also the in the day and age, you know, like just how progressive it was. You know, like what kind of thoughts he had. And talk about success in spite of yourself. We've talked about that. Talk about not having a plan. Right? Like, damn, he was a mess, you know, personally, as he would have said himself. But he had massive success without that. Anyways, so back to the plan, and how that kind of fosters the why. That gives you that extra gear, right? It's interesting in the days of any amount of self-help, inspirational type things online. Great videos, right? I love that Rogan video. I don't watch it much lately, but where you can be the hero of your own movie, which I believe is a premise he took from someone else, right? But he's got a cool little soliloquy about that. And there's a ton of other self-help things that they're nuggets.
Yeah.
In fact, they can be useful nuggets that you eat from every day, but still.
How do you usually where do you usually turn to for like self-help? Or
Honestly,
like, or even like just make it a little bit broader. How do you keep the motivation within yourself to continue burning? Because to your point about like doubts, the winds of doubts cooling you off, you know, to combat that, you have to have something that's burning within, right?
That eternal flame.
What do you usually?
So I will never forget that I've got a God-sized hole, right? And that God-sized hole has to be filled with something.
Yeah.
Right. So I've realized that the emotions that I have were uncontrollable, like blocks of magnesium in water. You know what I mean? And it was a young man's mistake to let those burn me up. Right? And so consumed by fear, right? To put a more fine point on it, being consumed by fear causes paralysis, right? For deer in headlights. And I've learned to see it and keep going.
Yeah.
Right. Slow as I might. Right. And I'm really afraid of this, but I need to go because on the other side is a green pasture. Right. Realizing that the fear used to be an impervious wall of granite. That's an illusion. Right. The grandness of my fear is like my own ego telling me that it's bigger than it is. It's a lie.
So motivation, fear as a motivation?
Fear is a big motivator. Yeah. Fear, anger, right? Unlike a lot of folks that I would consider, you know, I don't subscribe to any one particular faith. Let's put it that way. So when I see sin, right, I look at sin as like, as motivating.
Yeah.
Right. Gluttony. What good does that do you? Well, it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
It feels real good. Right. Gluttony, lust, feels good.
Yeah.
But they do have consequences, right? So they're like very volatile elements that are to be used, right? Okay, so then if you kind of think the way I do is like everything's this volatile, potentially volatile element.
Yeah.
If you think of it like that, right? Anger is very combustible, right? What is it good for?
Yeah.
What is anger good for exactly?
Yeah.
Right? Then it's like, well, in the face of true terror, right? In the face of true, a truly bad situation, somebody's hurt my family, right? In that immediate moment, anger is a gift, as Rage Against the Machine so politely put that. So then I think, okay, that's for that. It burns immediate.
Yeah.
But then fear, no man, fear is like peat moss. It's like it's like coal. Okay? It's compressed. Fear isn't just I'm afraid of that there and then it goes away. No. It layers after years and push it down. And I'm not afraid. I'm a man, or I'm not afraid of this person. And you just push and push until it's compressed.
Yeah.
Then you set it on fire on purpose, right? Your anger sets on.
That's interesting.
And then it's always burning, way down at that bottomless pit of God-sized hole that I have. You know, is this ever burning furnace of fear and negative emotion and self-doubt, right? And selfishness, right? So it's like this cauldron of negativity.
Yeah.
That is fire.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but the last time I checked, I'm a hell of a lot more man than I am anything divine.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can see this, right?
Yeah.
So this mortal coil is here burning with hatred and fear, right? And lust and greed and envy and vanity.
Yeah.
Right? These are things my animal body understands. But I am in search of love and higher ideals.
Right.
Right. So I use that fuel
That's interesting.
to propel myself up that beach.
Yeah.
Right. So what keeps it burning is a lot of negativity.
Interesting.
Right? Because it's never going to end.
Yeah.
People are, as Taylor says, Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate.
What? What the heck?
I got hater fuel all day, bro. All day.
Yeah, I think we differ on that because see, for me, motivation, you're talking about the God-sized hole.
Yeah.
So for me, like I see myself relative. If I see myself relative to others, then it's easy to either think I've arrived, I've achieved, I'm successful. Or if I look at other people, I could easily see myself like, oh man, I suck. I'm not where I should be,
right,
etc. So for me, I always look at myself in relationship to God. Right. And so when I look at my relationship for God in that perspective, then to me, that's so freeing, because then it's like, okay, in relationship to God, I'm loved. Yeah. I'm given grace. I've been given salvation, but also I've been given responsibility, and I'm His vessel to be used to be a blessing on others. And so for me, I would say similar fear, but my fear is fear of God, that in relationship to Him, I have a responsibility to love others, to care, and to help each other. But what's freeing about it for me is that as I look at others, I'm like, man, the pasture looks so much greener over there because they got so much money, and look how successful, and how do they do that? Yeah, I don't have to be downtrodden by that, because I could just look at Him and say, you know what? In the eyes of the Lord, between He and I'm loved. I'm cared for. It's okay. So even if I were to die today, everything's okay. So now it takes the burden off of me to feel like I gotta continue to strive to reach a goal that's unreachable, really, because like I've been there where I've had a lot of money and all of a sudden it's taken from me, right? And so like, Lord, take and even when I had a lot of money, it's not enough money, right? Or it's not even when I had all this stuff, it's never enough, right? Whereas with the Lord, with that perspective, it's like He's enough, and I don't need to be chasing anything now. What drives me, though, because if that's the case, then why not just be a hermit and just do nothing, right? What drives me is, well, I have people around me that need help, whether it be personal help, marketing help, helping grow businesses. And I need to be that vessel to serve him faithfully in that way and get capacity. Even to the point where, like, a few years ago when I decided I got to grow a business that's sustainable. Well, beforehand, I was thinking like, oh, I'm happy with where things are at with my business.
I got enough.
Yeah, I got enough. Things are good. Yeah. But then I started looking at my staff, and I started looking at other, I'm like, well, what's going to happen if something happens to me? What's going to happen if even years from now I decide to retire? Then they all have to look for a job. Like, how's this work? Like, that's lack of foresight. I'm not thinking about them. I'm just thinking about me and that I'm enjoying my life now. Right. And so because of that, I see, okay, that's my motivation. I want to create something that's sustainable so that it's helpful to the people who are working with me so hard to storm that beach, right? Yeah. Or else it's like, well, you obviously didn't care about what happens to us 20 years from now, and you could just retire, but I'm still have to work, and now I got to find something, a new place to work at, And so my motivation is always between the Lord and I, and from His perspective, what does He want me to do? Now, that doesn't mean that being perfect. I think I've always taken that upon myself to see, okay, what gifts, what talents, what has He given me and blessed me with that I can be able to therefore use to give on to others. And so everybody's different. That's, I think, that's the motivation that usually guides me. But again, it's very much of a giving motivation. Right. And so at some point, I got to make sure that I could get my heart rate, my blood pressure down. Right. I still got to make sure, I could get off this stuff, right. And that's hard, but that's the journey though, man. But,
are you a fan of Stoic philosophy? Speaking of self-help, and
it's been a while since I've learned about it.
So what I like about that philosophy is that it's very practical and you can take it to the hilt, right? And there's Ryan Holiday is a great modern Stoic, is really good at summarizing who you need to know about, what they said, Epictetus, and so forth and so on. Marcus Aurelius. And so I won't go into those details, but there are certain fundamental elements that he's pointed out. I like what he has to say. And then I've read, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius a couple of times. And what I like in general is that it's fundamental to the human experience that we come to the realization at some point, hopefully, that we're enough. That's the idea, right? It seems like, because we're not wise men, but let's just say we're two men, blindfolded, feeling different parts of the elephant of understanding.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're coming to the same conclusions, right? But it's interesting how you get there one way and I another.
Yeah.
And the way that the fire keeps burning is slightly different. There's a great amor fati. It was love everything, right? And when no matter what happens, right? And Jocko Willink, another guy, not a Stoic, but he came to another conclusion that's similar that when I onboarded in this business, I said, good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity to go forward. That's all it's about. Yeah. Even that idea forward, that's from Rocky 6. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
No matter how hard you get hit, keep going forward.
Yeah.
Like, so I like ideas that I can take to the hilt, that propel me forward, but aren't just a bunch of magic and bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the bad side of the motivational thing, of the LinkedIns, of the Facebooks, the memes and all that shit, it's like, you can hype it up, man. I'm for the hype.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, when does the rubber hit the road?
Right.
Yeah, like when. So what I challenge everybody, who's ever watching, as I've challenged myself, I challenge my kids, and other people I know. Like, did you write it down?
Yeah. Did you write it down?
Did you
calendar this? Did you actually? Right. Well, that's like for us, even for our marketing plan.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many businesses, it's wild for me to see, like, the amount of businesses we work with that don't even have a marketing plan,
Right.
that don't have marketing strategies, and they could still be successful. But how much more could you be successful if you actually plan that out? Right. That's one reason why, like, you and I, we've in a team focused on just, okay, what are we doing for 2025? Let's calendar this all out. Let's figure out all of our messaging points. Let's figure out the events we need to attend. Let's have this all out so week to week, month to month, we know what we're executing. And this all points to our marketing plan that we all approved. Right. You know, a couple months ago. And yet, how many businesses out there don't have that plan? And it's very difficult to just say, we're going to go row out into the middle of the ocean and have no idea where, which direction we're going to go.
That's a good analogy, because now if you say we're going to go, say we're in the business of fishing.
Yeah.
And if we get in a boat, all right, there's so many of us here, right? We ain't going to fit in a damn rowboat, right? So it's like, first of all, don't go in the ocean on a rowboat. If you know anything, you know that. right. Second of all, you can't fit all of us in the rowboat. Yeah. Right. And third of all, if you're going to go fishing, what are you going to catch in a rowboat?
Right.
In the ocean. Yeah. What are you going to catch, like a marlin or something? Or a great white shark? No, it's bigger than the boat. Yeah. Right. So the planning means so much to that goal. Yeah. And the success in spite of. Right. There's that side of it too, where it's like, how often do you see the people that are so burnt out, but they're successful? But god damn, everything they had to try to capture that big fish or to do whatever it is that their goal was. It's like, dude, you could have done that with 30% the effort. Yeah. You could have been smiling the whole time, catching a tan, and had 2 extra vacation weeks. Right. But instead, you chose to, use those emotions, right? That should be the late nights. That should be the push through moments where you're like, I got nothing left. But then, you get fired up and get you over them. No, they chose to use those, the anger, the fear, whatever, to as like everyday fuel. Yeah. And it's like, dude, you're going to burn yourself out. Or you're going to burn up everybody around you. Yeah. Right.
Your family's going to torch everything. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You can't. Well, and I like that analogy too, because it all, it reminds me, like, you have to have the right people on your boat too. Fact. Right? Yeah. Like, because to a certain degree, when you decide to set sail, you could have the best plans in the world, but you never plan for that huge storm to come across, right? Yeah. And if you don't have the right people on your boat who could help you weather that storm or bring certain skill sets or talents that say, okay, that's okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Right. And instead have people who are like complaining and shivering and hiding in the corner, like, come on, guys, we need you right now. And you just went and hid down at the bottom, below the deck.
Empty out all the scotch in the cellar.
Right.
Wait, man. Wait.
Right. Like, who do you surround yourself with to help you to propel? Right. That's one reason why it's like you and I think I've always said we're a great team, because you will, if in that storming the beach analogy, you might be the guys like, let's go. And I'll be like, okay, let's go. I'm following. I'm using you as a human shield.
Human shield.
Let's go. I'm with you. I'm not going to leave you. But dude, I will be there as medic to help you or anybody you hit down. I'm going to be caring for them.
You're going to lie to me.
I'm going to lie to you. I'm like, you're doing great.
Looking good, man. Jesus Christ. Look at him.
Right. Like, everybody has a purpose though. Yeah. Right. Because if it's just everybody like me, we wouldn't accomplish anything. Yeah. or vice versa. Like, in terms of, like, I love people really well, but like I need people to help to, all right, we're storming that beach. Right. Yeah. And so, like, in that boat, you got to be careful. Who do you allow in that boat? And some people can't be on that boat anymore. They need to be off. Yeah. Right. And because we're setting sail and we don't know, we have an idea, we have a plan, we've done every plan we can possibly put together, but we don't know what economy is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to, lose or win certain clients. Politics. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So we just got to keep pressing. Yeah. But you still need to have some sort of a plan, some sort of vision, because it's hard for people to follow when they're like, I don't really know where we're going. And I don't know how I'm contributing or what's the future for me, right, in this thing. Yeah. And so,
just like the pastor, like you were saying, it's like they're not going to they're not following if you don't even know why.
Yeah, if you don't even know why.
And the weird thing is, like, the unknown element, right? When, like, you're really on the cutting edge of things, right? A la the Elon Musk's world, I suppose. When you're really, really on the cutting edge, you really don't know what's out there. Man, you got to have a hell of a story to tell to bring people on board. Like, you don't know where you're going? All right. Nobody's ever been there before? Let's go. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, his aspirations, his goal is to civilize Mars. Like, wait, what?
That's
like
when your friend puts the bong down. Like, what, man? You want to do what?
Like, right,
you work at Denny's. Shut up. You know?
Like, I wouldn't be able to comprehend that. I will not be on that boat. Like, I'm not one of those guys. I don't know how to. I don't even know where to start. Right. But he has to get those right people. I always tell young people. I tell my daughter this a lot too. You are the summation of the 5 people you hang out with.
Amen.
Right. So look at the people that you hang out with, and are they good for you? Are they going to help you propel you in ways and challenge you in ways that you want to be challenged? Or are they like doing the bong in the corner? Or are they like, they can't even seem to get a job? All they're doing is sitting there playing fucking video games till midnight.
And then they have a panic attack when like the light bill comes.
Yeah. And they have no future plans. Not to say that I'm against gamers, but just say like that's all they do. They have no plans, right? Is that who you're hanging out with and just getting in trouble with? Because then if that's the summation, you're never gonna know how to achieve more. So that's why I always surround myself with people who know more than me, or they're spiritual mentors, or people who are like one step ahead of me in certain ways. Maybe not always, because usually I like to contribute too, but that's just a better friend group, because they help to propel you in advance and help motivate you.
I
don't know how I would be able to have overcome my divorce and all that 7-year of tragedy if I didn't have those 5 people who are like, that's okay. This is the season, Ernie, where we just carry you. Right. You don't have to add anything else to us. Just, I'm going to carry you. Yeah. And then now I'm able to overcome that because of those type of people.
I am reminded of, we're very quote heavy today, very reference heavy, but I'm reminded of of all things, the founder of the Church of Satan out there in San Francisco in 1969, Anton LaVey, says, what good are friends if they do you no good?
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn true.
That's true. That's true.
And I've heard that, the summation of the 5 people, like, it's all true.
Yeah.
Right. It's silly, but our moms were right. Like our moms and dads, like, those are your friends.
Yep.
They're losers. Find other friends.
Other friends.
It makes sense now.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for this new year.
It is going to be a good year.
It's going to be a great year. Bright. Yeah, I'm excited. We have our plan all figured out on the work side.
I like it.
On the personal side, I know some of my goals I'm ready to hit. So I'm glad to be able to get past all this, the eating and the all this holiday festive food.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for the salads, at least for a while. But I have a goal, and I'm going to hit that goal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I also have those goals. I'm pretty fired up about the prospect of seeing some of my personal dreams come true this year. And
it's going to be pretty cool.
Feels really good, man.
And we're aligning ourselves with the right people too, especially on the business side of things. You know, it's like, that's what we need to do. It's just keep on finding those good people and say, let's charge. Right. Let's charge this beach.
Right. Man. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one.
That was good.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, I suppose. And once again, from the iconic era of advertising to the digital age, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ernie.
Keep it legendary.